All right, Junaid, if you can just tell me if I'm loud and clear so I can start. Just type a yes in the chat box if you can. All right. So, Assalamu alaikum everyone, and greetings to all the participants, our esteemed guests of honor, the keynote speakers, and everyone currently live with us. I am Ali Muzahir, a beta level Microsoft student partner from the National University of Computer and Emerging Sciences FAST, and I welcome you all to this one of a kind edition of Microsoft 2020. Before moving on to anything in particular, we'll have the recitation of a few verses from the Holy Quran.
ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Jazakallah. Now please join us in spirit for the national anthem of Pakistan. All right. So a few years back, the Microsoft Student Partner Program lacked in a lot of aspects in Pakistan, but then, with God's will and with amazing efforts of students, this program was revived and is now thriving. And it gives me a sense of pride being a part of the team that established the very first Microsoft Student Partner Society at the National University of Computer Emerging Sciences, FAST. And then a lot of universities followed suit, including the University of Lahore. So, an idea that was previously considered to be impossible has now become a reality. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, Microsoft student partners from FAST-NUCES and the University of Lahore have joined hands to bring you the ever so grand virtual event of Microsoft++. And it gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you all the guests of honor and the keynote speaker for this magnificent event. In no particular order, we have Mr. Jibran Jamshed, who is Microsoft Education Country Lead, Pakistan. Then we have Dr. Muhammad Tariq, who is my director at FAST-NUCES. And then we have Sheikh Rizwan, Mr. Sheikh Rizwan, who is Education Country Lead as well. So now, without further ado, I'd like to call Hanzala Maqsood, who is a Gold Microsoft Student Partner, to come and talk to you all about Microsoft++ and what it's all about. Finally, Hanzala, it's over to you.
Hello everyone. With immense pleasure and precious pride, I welcome you all to the global event Microfest++, organized by MSP Society of FAST-NUCES and MSP of University of Lahore. Before everything, let me tell you that idea and formation of MSP Society was first initiated by MSP of FAST National University, and now we escalated the idea around more than 10 universities of Pakistan, included our co-organizers from the University of Lahore. As you all know that there have been a pandemic of COVID all around, which resulted in many problems and disruptions. Most of our events dates were disturbed as well. We firmly believe that with a strong will, one can easily transform problems into possibilities and obstacles into opportunities. So we decided to arrange an online global event, Microfest++, and the response has been wonderful. We have got more than 15,000 registrations for the event from about around 30 plus countries. You would be amazed to know that more than 51% of the participation of this event are females. We have been witnessed this kind of opportunity for the very first time. This event is not limited to students of tech related fields, but it is also for students from medical and business. We have 10 different modules in this event where students from around 30 plus countries would be competing to mark themselves in top positions. Other than competitions, there will be multiple talk sessions in these 3 days event by international speakers on different fields of tech, medical and business, and also on the women empowerment as well. So at the end, I will wish every student and participant in the event a good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanzala. Finally, I'd like to call Mr. Jibran Jamshed, who's the Microsoft Education Country Lead, to say a few words and officially open the platform for Microsoft++ 2020. Thank you so much, Hanzala. Finally, I'd like to call Mr. Jibran Jamshed, Microsoft Education Country Lead, to say a few words and officially open the platform for Microsoft++ 2020.
So am I audible to you, team? I just wanted to check before kicking it off.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Great, thank you.
Yes, we can hear you.
First and foremost, I wanted to appreciate the student partners community for taking this step forward and organizing such a great event. And what is more heartening to see that in these tough and challenging times, we are not leaving anybody behind, and we are still acting together as one single community, and we are putting our act together. And this hackathon is one fine example of the community spirit and empowerment. Uh, so I'm very pleased to sponsor this MSP program in Pakistan, and it's really heartening to see that the way MSPs are working. And not only in this hackathon, what I know is that the MSPs from Pakistan and the students from Pakistan, they are participating, but we have got international participation as well. So great job done. Uh, Secondly, I would wanted to touch base upon a few things, but in the interest of time, I would just keep it very short for 4 to 5 minutes. Uh, I prepared something, but I would skip that. Uh, so at this point in time, when we are fighting this pandemic situation and COVID-19 is across the globe, and this is where the real test of technologists and the technology is coming into the action. So I will just pick up one example where uh, we were faced like a few months ago when there was a lockdown situation due to COVID, and especially in market like Pakistan, where I'm working. So we were exposed to a situation where schools, colleges, universities, they were not they were not functioning as per the way, as per the standard procedure. And this is where a concept of remote learning emerged, and the community and everybody really helped to foster that. And at the end of the day, if we take a look behind that, around this fighting this challenge or combating this COVID situation, the thing which came to us was a solution of remote learning. And when you talk about this remote learning solution, and right now we are using the same tool, Microsoft Teams. And today, what we are doing is that we are running an entire event on this particular technology. And this is where today, based upon the same technology, we are running the entire schools, colleges, and universities. And this is just one fine example and implementation of technology. But when you will go ahead, you would find that technology stack is unlimited. There are other sophisticated technologies available as well from the Microsoft platform, primarily in the context of cloud computing, intelligent edge, powered by ubiquitous computing, artificial intelligence, and intelligent devices. So all of these things together, they are playing a great role in shaping up the way computing is happening today. And I just want to wish you more power and more luck. And I wish that more and more solutions would come up from this hackathon and this brainstorming which is happening amongst multiple students, and more solutions would surface on the radar, which would help us to solve those real world problems which are being faced, whether it's banking and finance, whether it's education, whether it's health vertical, whether it's governance, public safety, national security, whatever you name. The entire manifest has been changed, and the journey of digital transformation in these tough times would require us to bring more and more innovative solutions. And I think two things which are very fundamental to this, and I will close on that. One is your understanding of the problem and the domain. That is the first thing. Because if that is not there or that is not established, then usually efforts are not materialized well. The second part is your understanding of the technology stack. So whatever support you need from our side, we are happy to provide further support. Uh, and then at the end of the day, my takeaway from this great student and faculty-led effort would be that we will see more and more projects coming in, which will lead to a national level hackathon, and those projects would also lead towards Imagine Cup 2021 as well. So wishing you good luck for the event. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I'd like to call our director, FAST-NUCES, Dr. Muhammad Tariq, to share a few words of wisdom with us and the participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Muzahir. I'm very glad to know that you are going to organize another event, and I'm proud of you guys. In last couple of months and this COVID period, I mean, this is your second or third event that you are going to organize, and I'm glad to know that around 15,000 participants will be participating in this Microfest event, which is indeed a proud moment, not for me as a director of FAST, but for us, for your society, for Microsoft Pakistan, for your partners, your partners like the University of Lahore, I congratulate to you, your team, to Mr. Hanzala, who is the man behind this event, and also the society, that MSP society. I'm also glad to know that the number of Microsoft partners are gold partners. Majority are from FAST, so I'm very proud of you guys. Keep it up, and I think this is an opportunity for all of us, especially people from tech and computing side, that how can we do work even if such kind of situation where we cannot physically go somewhere, we have to keep social distancing. So the role of computing and tech is more visible, more important, and for that we need to find out alternative solutions. I hope new solutions and also ideas will come forefront, and we as a people from technology side, we can play our role. And I hope by doing this, we can give hope to the society, and also just not wasting our time in this lockdown period. We should utilize it in the best interest of humanity. With this, I hope you will have 3 wonderful days with the participants from around the world. And one thing which really very attractive and which is very near to my heart is female participation. My students, you all know that this year we are going to start a women and tech initiative where across the board we are going to give 50% scholarship to all female students, new incoming students, just to encourage women to participate in the technology field, to join the technology field, to play their role, which is more important for society like us, where we prefer to stay at home. So by encouraging female to enter in the technology field, we are actually increasing our canvas. 51% of participants are female, so I'm really proud of that. I hope this number will increase, and this shows how female are inclined toward the technology related field. I'm glad that you will be having 10 uh, uh, different events and also different competitions. And please share the outcomes with all of us. Maybe we may not be able to join all the sessions, but please record those sessions. And if possible, I think you are going to go online and live, which is really good. Those who cannot participate, they may see, and also you can record and later on share, so that you maximum benefit, people can get maximum benefit from this. With this, I am going to thanks all those who are going to participate, all the speakers, Mr. Gibran Jamshed, if I'm yes, who is the Microsoft Pakistan. Uh, I don't know exactly his. I forgot his designation, but he's someone from Microsoft Pakistan. I'm thankful to him and to all the participants. Thank you all. God bless you, Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure to have you. Next up, I'd like to call Dr. Yasser, who's the Director, Robotics and Internet of Things from the University of Lahore. Sir, please address every one of the participants.
For people who had got a pause in their studies. And it's also very encouraging to see Microsoft helping, sponsoring, and motivating such events at the student level. And also encouraging to see that universities within Pakistan are collaborating to arrange such activities. I have been part of National University of Emerging Sciences for about 20 years. It's my alma mater, and I've been teaching there for 15 years. And now I'm part of University of Lahore. So it's great to see both of these these universities collaborate. University of Lahore, as you know, is the largest private sector university in Pakistan. They have put a lot of effort in research as well. They've got um, the only largest data center installed recently within Pakistan. So these efforts are going a long way. And as my colleague mentioned, that we had a suspension of educational activities at the universities, which was quite depressing. But now the things are moving forward with the new protocols of life that we have learned from this pandemic, and the new collaborations that we have established, the new way of doing things, and bringing, and this actually pandemic has speeded globally, saying that the world is becoming global village. Distances are diminishing, but practically we saw that this process was very slow. So this wherever there is a problem, there are also opportunities as well. So this is an opportunity to increase our digital presence, to do things online, to so that the distances between the physical distance between us become unimportant. And it's very nice, encouraging to see such a huge event in which we have such a large number of participants from different corners of life, and while maintaining this social distancing or staying at home, we have been the students have been able to arrange such a large event, which is very encouraging to see. So educational activities have also resumed, and co-curricular activities have also resumed, which are also part of a very important part of your life. Me as a student at FAST Lahore, at NUCES Lahore, sorry, I have initiated three student societies there. Two of them are still running. So it's very encouraging to see students that they realize that we need to also have co-curricular activities. They go a long way along with your educational activities in making you stand out from the crowd, from thousands of people who graduate every year. So I would ask everybody to give a lot of applause for all of the organizers, all of the partners, all of the sponsors of this event, the Microsoft partner, the universities, and the technical heads. And I feel very encouraged to see our youth who are leading the way into the future. After our generation, they are doing their part, even in this kind of condition. I'm really happy to see that, and I wish you best of luck for this event and for all future events. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I want to personally thank all the guests of honor. And it's now time to move to the crust of this event, the competitions. And also, if any one of the viewers have any queries, feel free to drop them in the chat box right by your side and we'll answer them as soon as possible. Thank you, everyone.
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम बस ठीक है वीडियो आ रही है वो चलिए वीडियो चलाने लगा हाँ वो चलिए वीडियो लगाने लगा वो चलिए वीडियो लगाने लगा
Thank you so much. All right. So now we'll be moving on to our talk sessions. And for our first talk session, we have our very esteemed guest speaker, Mr. George, who started his professional career as a systems and network engineer back in 1998 during his studies at the University of Wales. He represented the Greek division at the Global Microsoft Robert Bosch Summit in Stuttgart at the age of 20. He worked for 14 years in the healthcare sector as a chief information officer for Vambas Medical and Vambas group of companies. In 2019, he awarded being one of the top 100 leaders in global healthcare for his work, his innovative solutions, and his contribution in global healthcare. He is the founder of two companies, Hood Group Management, founded in 2015, and Blacktrack Consulting, founded in 2020. Hood Group Management is a company that promotes street artists professionally. The company holds two international awards and has a rich portfolio of international partnerships and projects. Blacktrack Consulting focuses on IT solutions, cybersecurity assessments, on the medical and banking sector, and custom applications using machine learning and AI technologies. So Mr. George would be talking to us on the topic of The Last Dance. Over to you, Mr. George.
Hello, everybody. I need to share my screen. Thank you very much for having me. I think you can see me right now. I hope everybody's fine after the whole thing with the coronavirus, and hopefully we'll get it through eventually.
Just a second. It is we are going to arrange it. Yes, now it's okay.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when I was invited to this event, first of all, I think it's very, very interesting. This competition that you made, it's amazing. It's pretty cool, and I found it really interesting. And as I was checking out about the topics and the whole thing, many motivational things came into my mind because I liked it very much. I think that my friend made an introduction about me. I'm currently talking to you from Brussels in Belgium. I'm Greek, but right now I'm working as a risk management and security architect at BNP Paribas Fortis. I'm also the business with my two companies that I own. So I think that I combine most, if not all, the things that Microfest plus will cover those 3 days, the technology and the rest. So Microfest plus, it's about technology, it's about business, it's about medical, also those things that I have covered in my experience in my life, because I have studied business information systems and information technology management, and I was 14 years at the healthcare sector. And Microfest is also an event that means networking. I think that if people don't know how networking works, it's one of the best things that you can do in life, being events like that in order to meet other people, and this will bring you closer to success. It's also about competitiveness, because we are talking about the competition. And the other thing that I liked is that because there are different sessions, it's an opportunity for everybody, to get new ideas. When technology student watches something from the business sector, stuff like that, all this can be combined into duals or in triples. So by having all this in mind, the thing that came to me, it was, the documentary series, The Last Dance, that the last episode aired last week. It was the hot topic all around the world about the last year of the Chicago Bulls and the 6th trophy that they won, and what all the difficulties that I get through all the season. And there are many points that we can discuss, and I found interesting. So Why The Last Dance? First of all, the thing is, it has to do with the mentality, the winner's mentality and the champion's mentality, a mentality that everybody should have in order to achieve, to succeed in life and achieve all the things that he wants to. The other thing that it was very good to know, it was the many different points of view. You know, it doesn't focus on Michael Jordan itself, but on Phil Jackson, the coach, on the management, on other players, on opponents, and it was pretty interesting to watch it. I might do some spoilers for those that haven't watched it yet, but I strongly recommend it to do so. The other thing is that I found many similarities about my own life experience, and that's why I believe that I could relate and everybody could relate, no matter the age. You sure have experiences that you can relate from things that you can watch in this documentary. And of course, I decided to this topic has The Last Dance because it is trending. You know, especially business students know how trends work and how you get people more hyped and more excited about something where it's, you know, when it's trending and you get the hype. The things that I wanted to point out that I liked and I watched in this documentary, and also had to do with things of the ordinary life and daily things that we do in our lives. It has to do with competitiveness. I think that everybody has that competitive spirit from when we are young, you know, when we're playing with our friends or our family members and we want to win. Everybody wants to win. There are the competitiveness that others have it for a lot, and others not so much. But there is competitiveness, it's always there. The other very interesting aspect of the whole documentary, it had to do with the motivation. How these guys managed to motivate themselves in order to succeed. You know, it's very difficult when you're very tired, when you have worked so much, when you have studied for so long, to find motivation in order to keep going, you know. And it is really interesting how these top players teach us about motivation. Of course, we're talking about team sports that has to do with collaboration, and everybody right now that is listening to me know that in order to succeed in life, they have to work with others. You know, you can do stuff on your own because at some point you will need to collaborate with someone else. At the documentary The Last Dance, the collaborations and the different roles and personalities, how collaborated with each other, it is truly magnificent, and it's something that has to be analyzed. So in order to succeed, we can't succeed if we don't go to a point in order to overcome any failures or difficulties that may arise. This is also a point that most people give up. We don't want you to give up. You need to stay focused. That's the next point. This is how these players go to stay focused from all the drama going on around them. And of course, the best thing that you get from it, and something that may have heard a lot of times, is how to get out of your comfort zone. Okay, how to go to the extra mile. You know, at the point that you feel that you're exhausted, that you can't make it, you can go to the finish line. Either it's, you know, about exams, either at work in order to finish a difficult project or whatever. You know that you have to go the extra mile. This is a good example for those that do sports. In order to get better, they have to go over the comfort zone, especially in those that have to do with fitness, you know, bodybuilding, stuff like that. you have to feel the pain to get a bit more than you feel comfortable with. So I was thinking about when I was growing up, how motivation acted on me. I had many challenges in my life, and there were so many moments, honestly, so many moments that people told me that it's not going to work, or that I can't do it. You can do it, George. You can do it. This is something that made me want to do it. This was something that made me to focus even more to achieve things that other people told me were telling me that I can't do it. And this was the moment that I was trying to measure my own zones and where is my comfort zone. And every time I figured out that my comfort zone was going up and up and up because I was managing to overcome that zone. So by talking to all of you, I was trying to remember how I was thinking when I was a student. At 22 years of age, I remember that I was at the second year of my studies at the University of Wales, Business Information Systems. I started working at part-time at Robert Bosch, a well-known international company. And, it really felt good because I'm on my field while I'm doing my studies. And this gave me an enormous boost in my confidence. When I finished my degree and I started doing my master's degree in information technology management at the University of Sutherland, I had a request from Robert Bosch to get on the team and start working full-time. So at that point, I was working like for many hours. I was working for 10 or 12 hours per day, and I had my studies also during the weekends. It was really frustrating because many of my friends, were going out, having fun, and I was only working and studying. And I had the vision. I was feeling really good, but at some point, it occurred to me that this question: do I work for a living, or do I live for working? This shows what's most important, because at that age, I felt that I want the quality in my life. And this is something that you can achieve if you balance everything. If you balance your life, everything that you do, you can achieve that quality. But if you're all work or all fun, something's always missing. And at that point, I was also thinking, am I looking for success, or am I avoiding failure? Because when you try to avoid failure, is at the point that you feel comfortable with yourself, that everything is okay, and you don't go the extra mile. You don't try more about what do you want to achieve. I was thinking that I'm looking for success. That means that I might fail. I might do things that won't work. And at the same time, at that age, by doing all these things, also having a good stable work and studying, honestly, I had so many ideas in order to conquer the world. Maybe many of you feel the same. But the difficult part is that, is it really a thing that can be happen at that age? Because my feeling was that if the management of the company, of whatever company, comes to me and tells me that you can take the management of the whole company or a department, I will succeed. I felt that confident because I had the knowledge, I had the skills. At least it felt like that. But at that point of my life and my career, and that also goes with the docu-series, the Chicago Bulls, at the point that when people felt like that, so confident, most of the times are when they're starting doing what they love So they're at the first steps of their career. So this appears in our life, at least for one subject or more. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is something that two psychology students did and did a research and found out that the less that you know things, the more confidence you have. Okay, and as you realize and you get gain more knowledge and experience, this confidence leads you because you realize that you're not the best, you're not at the best point of your life, that much more skillful people out there, and by getting more knowledge and more experience, this confidence slowly get back up again. So when I was at that age, I was honestly at the peak of mountain stupid. I really mean it. I was stupid back then because I felt so powerful, so good, and at some point I wasn't paying that much attention to my goal because I was feeling confident, and boom, I got fired because I did some mistakes, some professional and not professional mistakes, unprofessional things that I did that made me, lose my job. And I was okay. That was a difficult moment, but I have it. I can do it. I'm the best. So let's go find another job. And I was hitting, knocking doors, going to interviews, and I couldn't find what I wanted. Could find only, jobs that were like, user support, things that people do when they start. And I already had some experience. So by doing this, and I had all these difficulties. It shows me that I have some bad network quality. I hope this will fix. Okay, I hope that you hear me well. And
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. So at that point, when it was very difficult for me. So I go to this valley of despair. I didn't know what to do. Honestly, I didn't know what to do, and this was very critical for me. And this was a difficulty that I had to come through in order to go to the slope of enlightenment and go then to the plateau of sustainability and achieve the level that I wanted. Obviously, this needs time. So at that point, as Michael Jordan says, always turn a negative situation into a positive situation. He did it when he lost his father. His father was murdered. It's part of the documentary as well. It was a very difficult time for him, but he tried to make the best of it, even for a difficult situation like this one. For myself, it was when I lost my job, and it was very difficult. I had to turn it into a positive one, and I managed to turn it as a positive one because I took it like a lesson, and you have to work for it. Everything doesn't come to you that easy. And at this point, what I had achieved, it came to me a bit easy. You might listen and hear generally about work ethic. Work ethic is, you can hear it a lot in the sports because it's how much people work for it. Everybody talks about it when they're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo or Michael Jordan or LeBron James, or everybody that has achieved that many things, even it's Bill Gates or whomever that had reached the top. Work ethic is something that should describe you as a person. If you don't have work ethic, it's something that you will face on your later professional steps, and this will come back to you either from your own mistakes because you don't have that ethic, either because the people around you who don't feel comfortable with you. So try to be the best at what you do, whatever that is. Remember that you can do it all, and that what you do, try to be the best at what you do. That's how you build confidence. In order to avoid the Dunning-Kruger effect, you have to work to gain experience, to gain knowledge in order to build confidence, so that can increase. As Michael Jordan says, work ethic eliminates fear, because when you work hard, really, really hard, and keep working, not stopping, because at the documentary, it's one point that they mention at The Last Dance is that when Michael Jordan put it on, when he turned his engine on, he never turned it off. He never stopped being that competitive and keep working about to achieve his dreams. Okay. And at this point, I have to mention this quote from Rick Pitino. Long-term success is a direct result of what you achieve every day. Goals provide your daily routine. Stick to it. We're talking about daily routine, day-to-day stuff. Rick Pitino, for those who don't know, is a Hall of Fame coach. He used to coach my favorite team, Panathinaikos in Greece. And he has written some books. One of them is that success is a choice. And this is something that you have to have in mind, that success doesn't come that easy, and it is your choice. It is your own choice in order to achieve success and get there. As we said before, you need to build self-confidence, not like the Dunning-Kruger effect, but to have a realization on your skills, on your level, and where you're going to reach. Okay, so by working hard every day, you're going there, you're getting there. You need to create demanding goals. When you are talking about demanding goals, we mean about goals that are achievable, not like tomorrow I want to go to the moon. That's a joke, but not something easy. Don't say that I want to go to a trip to Germany, for example. This is something that you can do. Obviously, if you do some budgeting, you might go. But we're talking about your goals. You have to set your goals step by step in order to achieve the greater one. In that case, you might need to own your own company, to become, I don't know, CIO or CEO in Apple. I don't know. Every person has its own goal that it's demanding more or less for someone else. That's why you have to keep a positive attitude. Positive attitude in everything that you do is the key in order to have a good energy around you. That also goes for the people that we have around us. Avoid people with negativity. Avoid people that don't lift you up. We want people that can support us, even when they are our friends, our family, or our colleagues. When I was growing up and I was doing all these things, when I was studying and stuff like that, I had so many people telling me that I can't do it, that okay, I'm trying to go very high, I should aim lower. And I was like, why are they telling me this? Why don't they want me to succeed? Why no one comes and tell me, okay, you can do it. I'm with you. I'm by your side. Only few people manage to do that. So try to surround your people with yourself with people that have that energy, that are very positive in what you do and they support you. This goes vice versa. When you feel that, you give it back. And this is also something that comes also from good habits. When you have your daily routine with good habits, you can achieve more. Going to bed early at night, waking up early in the morning in order to go to work out. If you have a routine when you study, you create your habits. And there are so many books out there that can show you what is to change your habits into something better, to change your routine. Rick Pitino applies, for example, for people that are going to work and they have some unpleasant tasks to do. Not all of the tasks that we do in our job every day are pleasant. So Rick Pitino suggests that you might need to put all these tasks that you don't like at the beginning of your day. So you need to focus on completing those tasks, and from that point on and for the rest of the day you have all that positive attitude and all that good habits and good value in order to achieve more. That goes also to that you need to improve your communication skills. In order to succeed, you need those skills. Business students that listen to me right now, I think that they know it, but other students like the technology students don't have that mentality. It was something that I managed to add to my repertoire in order to achieve more in my life. Because, for example, when I got to Vanvas Medicals, I realized that the department was doing so many work, but nobody was knowing exactly what's going on. So I started promoting myself and all the work that the department did. By doing this, by communicating our projects and what we did, we get more prestige in the whole group. So we weren't the guys that were doing the support, user support only, but we were actually doing new innovative solutions, and this got me the IT manager position at first and then the chief information officer at second. And the thing that many don't understand is that knowledge doesn't come only from ourselves. Knowledge comes also from people around us. Every single point I have mentioned till now is what you can also watch through the sports, in every sport, especially if you watch the Last Dance. So people are getting all the positive energy and positive knowledge on what they do from people around them. Your collaborators, your friends, people that have something to give you. Your favorite teacher, everybody can give you something, even it's for your own, character or for your work. The other thing, in order to be successful, you need to work under pressure. Nobody that gained a championship or won something didn't do it without any pressure. Be ready for it. Honestly, be ready and be that ready. So don't panic. Be ready to work under pressure. Be ready for people that might shout at you, but you have to find the ways, to counter that. Be persistent. You need to persist. You need to keep focus. You have a goal. You need to finish it. Right now, many of you have a goal, to enter your degree, to get your degree. You have to be persistent in order to get that. The sooner you get that, the better for you on your life. And you have to learn from difficulties and failures. All these points that we have I have mentioned till now, and things that you can see in every level of life, even it's not professional at the highest level, like the Chicago Bulls on the Last Dance. There were so many difficulties and failures in the process, but even though they managed to overcome them and go to the top. And when you go to the top, this is when the whole procedure start over again, because you have to retain yourself in the top. That's a difficult part. So Michael Jordan came in, and at first he said, okay, let's check my competitors, what they have earned. So everybody had like 2 championships at the time. Nobody had a three-peat. Nobody had the 3 consecutive titles. He won his first three-peat. At 94-95 season, he quit. He quit basketball. He started playing baseball because He lost his father, had all that pressure from the media. He lost his motivation. You know, when he lost his motivation, he stopped. He stopped playing basketball. He wanted to do something else in order to get motivated. That was, as a young kid back then, it was very critical. When I listened to, I was like, what is he stopping? He's the best player in the world. And he said that I lost my motivation. So if you lose your motivation, you can work out. You can do it. You can work out 100%. So it's very difficult. When he came back at 95, he came back at the end of the season. He was away for 1.5 seasons. And at that point, Chicago Bulls were at the playoffs. He got back with number 45. He's the number that he used to wear at school. But at the first game, he made a mistake. Mark Jordan made a mistake, and they lost the game against the Orlando Magic. At the next game, he came back wearing his own number, you know, the famous 23, and they won. Finally, they lost the series from Orlando Magic. So the next year, they came back more motivated, and that was what Mark Jordan was missing, the motivation. And they came back more motivated. Dennis Rodman came on board, and at that point in '96, they had the record with 72 wins and 10 losses, and they also got the championship. So, how you make it work? How we make it work? Everything is a percentage. You know, many times they're asking me, how do you manage and do all these things? How you find time? Even the guys that were talking from the organization team, they were like, when do you find the time to do all this? You know. And it was something that during that time I was doing as a chief information officer. I had so many projects, so many things to do. So the first of all, it is time management. Think of you, how many hours do you spend on social media, on internet, and what you do is just scrolling up and down, and try to measure that. Try to measure how much time you lose to doing things that don't matter, you know. Think of it. When you manage your time, this is the point that you start to work more efficient, because if right now I'm doing a project, I'm working on a project, I don't feel that I can focus on it, you know, I have to do something else in order to make my time and my work more efficient. So I leave one task in order either to rest or to do something else, so to get back and work more. Very important is when you have to schedule. When you will manage to schedule your everyday, and we're talking about not scheduling about the task that you will do at work or at your studies, I mean all day long. When you will go out, when you meet your parents, when you go with friends, when you will go out game, PC game, I don't know, whatever. Just schedule your next day. Be ready, even for if something gets cancelled, to be ready to do something else. Rick Pitino showcased that by scheduling your next steps, you are much closer with your daily tasks to achieve to the goal before the deadline. Okay. The next thing that I'm telling everybody that I'm talking to is to be calm and don't stress. You know, okay, everybody is getting stressed at some point in their lives. Being stressed is normal. But the thing is that my way of thinking is that if I get stressed, I won't focus. If I won't focus, I can give a solution to a problem. So I have to relax, to be calm, and try to work it out. Imagine how many times you were stressed and you weren't thinking right. Your mind wasn't that clear in order to make it work. I have a very good example at some point, and when I was starting at Vanvas Medicals, we had a huge problem with the network. Everything went down, and suddenly the previous IT manager there did something kind of stupid, and he reset one of the systems, and we lost our SharePoint. Yeah, our SharePoint database was away. So we're trying to figure out how to make it work. And I was so tired of it that day. And at some point around 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I was like, okay, I'm leaving, I'm going home. And then my manager back then, it was like, what? We have a situation here, we can leave. And I was like, no, I will leave because I don't feel relaxed. My mind is not calm. I can't think straight. So I can't find a solution because I realized that I was trying to do the same thing over and over again. So I left home, I left work and went home, ate, slept for an hour. Then when I got up, no, I didn't go back to work. I went for a coffee with my friends, watch Panathinaikos play basketball on TV, and around 10 o'clock, I was like, okay, I can go to the office right now. I feel relaxed. And as I was going to the office, I had so many ideas on my mind because I was, I wasn't tired then. And when I got to the office, there are even more people from partners. They're trying to figure out what was happening. And I go in. I don't talk to anybody. I sit on my desk. I started searching what I had in my mind, and suddenly I figure it out. I found a guy that had solved the problem with a different way that we were doing till then. So I was like, after half an hour, I found it. We have all the data. Everybody was excited. And that was because I didn't want to stress no more. I wanted to be calm in order to focus on the problem. Okay. The next thing has to do with yourself. You have to work out to keep a healthy body, because if you're not healthy, everything that you are trying to succeed can go to the garbage bin like that so easily. So you have always to have your own health in mind, because if you don't have that, you can have anything else. Our body is a temple that many people say. So always give 100% in order to have adequate results. So I am at that point doing all these things in my life. I'm focusing, CIO, and at some point, everybody knows it was a global, the financial crisis hit, especially in Greece. So I'm working there, and if you want to understand what happened, for example, at first, personally, I had a pretty good salary for Greece. Many people were fired because the budget should be cut, because our main clients are doctors and hospitals, and more of the hospitals were governmental, the public sector. So the government didn't have any money, so they were not paying us back. So the company didn't have the money to pay us for our salaries. So at first I personally got a reduction of 25%. It was huge, but me and many other people said, it's a teamwork. Let's try all together to make it work. So we accepted that reduction. Later on, another reduction came, another 10%. So it was even worse. And besides that, we were like 4 or 5 salaries behind schedule. So it was really, really, really difficult for us to handle. But when there is a crisis, I think that most of you might know it, when there's a crisis, there's always opportunity. I have to admit that at the first years, 2012, 2013, it was a period that nobody in the company at Vanvas Medicals had, that mood in order to work. We were like robots, doing just the needed stuff to do. But, me as a person, I was missing that excitement, that motivation. And I was like, I can't let this situation destroy me as a professional, because if I'm not doing anything, if I'm not studying to earn more, to learn more, and for all of you know that right now I'm 41 years old, and I never stop studying. I'm studying every year. I give so many, certifications, that I learn new stuff. Unfortunately, you have to know that studying never ends. If you want to achieve something, you have to keep up with everything that goes around you. So during that time, and this is when we started doing things that differentiate us as a team, as a company with the rest, is that we started creating stuff inside, IT stuff, IT solutions with no budget or the minimum budget. So we created so many solutions that later on they were adopted by the Greek government in the healthcare industry. Many of our solutions were also proposed in other countries and in other companies. At some point, we had also requests for our competitors in order to work as a department to develop the same solutions that we did for Vanvas Medicals to other companies. And so my name personally and the team that I was holding back then, we're getting that hype, that we're doing stuff with much less of the budget that other people do and other companies do. So we're having so many opportunities either to change companies or to work at the same time by creating more solutions. So the same thing started for the Chicago Bulls during the 98 season, that because Scottie Pippen, the second best player on the team and one of the best players in the league, decided not to play because he wasn't feeling okay with his contract. Scottie Pippen was one of the best players in the league. He was about around 100th in the list of the salaries. He was getting paid badly. So they start this season that they already know from the beginning that this is their last season, because Jerry Krause, the general manager, told them that even if you win all the games, this game, he told this to Phil Jackson, the coach, that you're leaving the team and probably the rest of the players will as well. Michael Jordan had said that if Phil goes, I go, and that goes for the rest of the Bulls. So they had a crisis because they were losing games, too many games. And during that crisis, Jordan asks help from Dennis Rodman. If you know Dennis Rodman, it is something that we'll say also later on. Have this in mind because he's a unique individual. But when you have a crisis, you have opportunity, and Rodman take that opportunity to shine. In my case, besides what I did for Vanvas Medicals, I also checked around me on the market, and I thought that okay, it's a nice period of time to start a new company. So I started my own company, Hoodoo Management. Hoodoo Management started with promoting and booking projects, corporate events, commercials, generally whatever you might think for street artists, street dancers, break dancers. It's called b-boying or breaking, hip hop and things like that. And when I started, I had very little budget, so it was very difficult for me. And everybody around me, besides the artists, all the artists were so much into it. They believed that it will succeed, especially those that got into the roster of Hood groups. And my family and the rest were like, are you sure? This is not good period of time in order to start a new investment, a new company. I was like, yes, this will work. It is the best time to do it. Even though that when I started it, in Greece, the capital controls came in, so many of our projects were cancelled. So a rough start. Either way, the year went good, and we managed to book event for some for Heineken to have some TV interviews and stuff like that. But even that, even we're doing well, you know, at some point, because I had so many salaries behind at Vanvas Medicals, Hudgu was paying my bills. So this was more than successful for me. Okay. And when everybody was like, you don't do it, you don't know, okay, you can't expect many things from it, I was like, this going to be international. Yeah. I think that, you know, this Bollywood movie Tag is in the High got out in 2017 because, and I'm showing to you because we're part of it, you know. This is the soundtrack of the film. This is one of our B-boys. It has like 8 million views, more than 800 million views right now. And this is, you know, the actors in the middle. All the rest around them are people that in Hudru's roster. And I was like, we're making it big right now. Why are keep saying to me that I can't make it? Because the proof's in your face. So last year, after Jan Satokobo was named MVP, we worked for Nike Global, the global, not the Greek chapter, the global chapter from the USA, and we had two performances for that event. It was a great experience, especially to see Jan Satokobo, you know, in front of you. It was great experience, but this isn't all. We have been invited in TEDx events, like on the left-hand corner. More than 3-4 TEDx events. We have another one on October. BMW have booked us in order to do them graffiti in canvas in order to give it. We had a collaboration with Fila, so many corporate events, and you know, with beers and stuff, with commercials and stuff. This commercial that I have done, and this is just a glimpse, just a part of what we have done since 2015. On the right low corner, this is one of our dancers that was 3D mapped in order to have that outcome. And right now, we have people in more than 22 countries. And all this started in the things that friends told me that, are you serious? Are you trying to start something with dancers? This can't work. So imagine that. The whole thing started with a business plan. You need a plan. Remember that whatever you do, you need a plan. You don't go in the blind outside in order to succeed something. You have to create a plan and then to update the plan every now and then. We started with dancers. Now we have all the street elements. We have MCs, DJs, graffiti writers. We have BMX, freestyle football. We have skaters. We have everything that has to do with street performances. Okay. So we are in that level, and I was telling them from the beginning that this is destined for success. And no, the cookie didn't tell me so. The business plan told me so, and my research on the market. So imagine that you have so many projects right now, and we're talking about subject that the Microfest plus has like business, medicals, and technology. And when I went for my award in Dubai in last December for the top 100 leaders in global healthcare, I was talking to so many doctors there from all around the world. Maybe some of you know some of them. They were from the area, and I realized that there was, you know, some gap between the medical sector and the IT sector, because I'm connected with both, and I realized that the healthcare sector was trying to introduce technologies that are already applied in the rest of the world 5 years ago. So right here you have a big, aspect to check in order because it's a gap on the market. You have to cover these technologies that are missing in healthcare, in medical, and many of the guys and the people that are starting to develop applications for medicals are not that good in the medical department. Only few people that are in both medicals and healthcare are going with pretty good ideas, So if you're not in both areas, try to collaborate and achieve that. But as I said, collaboration. Myself, I didn't get to that point on my own. Okay, I worked for it, but if I didn't have the good and the perfect teammates, I wouldn't achieve that. Of course, the same goes to the Chicago Bulls, because if the team wasn't as it should be, they wouldn't win the championships. Okay, they might win 1 or 2, but not 6. You have to create a trust with your colleagues. You're collaborating with them. You don't need to be best friends with them. You need to know how to work efficient with them. Stick with that. This is what in every sports is being done. When you're the star player, it's much better to take the ball and shoot the basket. Or if you're the best developer, it's much better for you to do the whole programming. But you need to trust your teammates in order to give you parts of your work, each one to help each one. And something that in hip hop they say, each one teach one. Everybody, one person can teach another person, and this goes around. And this is very critical, because if you trust your co-workers, your partners, your players, or whatever, they can carry you on when you are not able to. This is the point and the moment that you learn from everybody. Share the knowledge. People that have a feeling that if they share the knowledge, they will lose their position, even if it's a team, either at work, they will lose their position either way. You have to share the knowledge and try to get better at what you do, because if you think that, okay, I know this one thing very well, I won't share it with anyone else, so I have to be the one that they will ask. But this is not a good practice, because this will get back to you as a boomerang. And this also applies to Chicago Bulls, because this is the famous flu game that, in fact, Mark Jordan had food poison. And even though I think, scored more than 40, 45 points also in that condition, his teammates helped him a lot and covered him in everything that he couldn't do inside and outside the field. So think of that. Even if you're the best of it, you also need teammates in order to hold you at that level. And as we're talking about teammates, we're coming to talk also about Dennis Rodman. For those who don't know who Dennis Rodman is, either you can watch 30 for 30 on ESPN. It's a documentary about Dennis Rodman. Or either just Google about how eccentric Dennis Rodman was. Besides that, he was dyeing his hair and all these tattoos, he was getting in too many fights. He was very eccentric when he was going out. Imagine that at one point he announced that he's getting married, and thousands of people get there in order to see him getting married. He didn't announce with whom, and suddenly everybody saw him in a wedding dress, a white wedding dress, and he announced that he was marrying himself. And this was a marketing stunt in order to promote his book that he got out there. He was very, very eccentric, and at a level that at the 98 finals, he missed a couple of the practices because he went to Las Vegas, if I remember correctly, in order to wrestle with Hulk Hogan. He went to wrestle with Hulk Hogan. Everybody was looking for Dennis, and Dennis was wrestling. The next day, he was on the field, and he was one of the best players. Why am I saying this? Because you have to realize that not everyone can get into a template. Each person has unique characteristics, and you need to find a way, as Phil Jackson did with Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan did with Dennis Rodman, and let him feel comfortable, confident, and they realize that this guy needs to work differently than the rest of us in order to have the outcome that he can give us. And what he can give them, well, he is one of the best rebounders ever that played the game. He averages around 18 rebounds per game, and he had a record at the game with 38 rebounds. And he's not that tall. He was one of the best in my games. He managed to, frustrate so much his opponents that his opponents were hitting him and they were getting out with, the disqualified. At some moments he got also disqualified, but he was very, very clever player. And Phil Jackson and the Bulls managed to get the best out of him. That's part of the teamwork. And as Michael Jordan said, Phil Jackson had this unique skill to put everybody as piece of the process. So Michael Jordan as well was part of the process. The other thing is, this is the moment that Michael Jordan talks to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr right now, he's the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, and back then he was, during his playing game the times, he was the 11th or the 12th player in a team. That means that he was taking very little playing time, but he knew that he should do the best of it. He knew his role, and this is the key word: role. He accepted his role, and at that point, Michael Jordan told him, in a professional way, because the camera was shooting, that if I got double team or triple team, be ready, because everybody was it was about the clutch shot, the final seconds of the game, and the Bulls are behind, I think, with 1 point, and right there, Steve Kerr says, "Okay, I will be ready. I got you." Not realizing that the camera is next to him and that would have a bad result. The next moment, it was that the ball got to Steve Kerr. He made the shot and they won. And because he realized the role, and the best player in the team trusted him to make that shot, the final shot. Imagine that everybody was waiting that Mike Jordan will take it, because he had so many clutch shots, so many shots at the last moment. It was crazy. So we have two types, different types, like Dennis Rodman, these people you might find or your work or at school, and the people that accept their role that everybody should do, like Steve Kerr. So roles, because you have to realize that not all of us are destined to be leaders. You have to go there. You can start by being a leader. You have also to have the mentality. Because you are good doesn't mean that you can lead. And the opposite, people that are not that good can also be good leaders, because they know how to maximize the skills of other people. And that's a very great skill. Phil Jackson managed to maximize the skill of everybody. He wasn't the player, he was the coach. So know your skills and your level, but always remember the Danny Kruger effect. Don't be that, cocky, that you go in front of everybody and say that you're the best. Always keep in mind that there may be someone better than you. Try to find motivation from other people in order to get better than them. So be the best at what you do. Share the knowledge. I will say it over and over again, because you have to feel it. Know that there's nobody that can tell you that you can do it. You can do everything. If you have good ideas, try to make them come true. At your age, at around 25, I had so many good ideas, but I never took the initiative, to go forward and do it. It was a mistake that I regret. But either way, I wanted to do it. Not because I wanted to succeed in that point. The most probably I would fail, because I was too young. I didn't know all the things that mattered back then. But I wanted, as Michael Jordan says at the end of The last dance is that if he feels some weird because the team was scrambled before the next year, 99, and he was like, we won the championship. Of course, I wanted the whole team to be there the next year. We had at least to try. You have to think that you have at least to try to achieve something. If you don't try, you're a failure. This is a fail, not to try and fail. Fail is not to try at all. So do that, share the knowledge, trust your teammates, co-workers, co-founders, push your for the best, but demand everybody to do the same. As you try to demand everybody to do the same. Michael Jordan was bullying his teammates in order to get the best of them. And the thing is that they might got annoyed back then, but right now you will realize that they also say in the interviews he made us better players because he pushed them to the edge. Not everybody could handle it. Some people, turn out crying out and leaving the practice. But when you work on it and you have a strong character, you can go through it. And when we're talking about roles and personalities, I will give you that example for myself, because as a CIO in Bahamas Medicals, I had so many people that I had to deal, professionals, more than 200 people. When I started as a Chief Information Executive Officer at Hood Group, I had a different type of people in order to communicate. And I did manage to have communication with either the artists, with 18-year-old people, kids that didn't know anything about business, and vice versa with people that were 50 or 60 years old, much older than me, and I had to convince them on something. So remember that everything that you do, there are roles and there are different personalities you have to handle, because we handle our own public relations with others. So at that point, I was like, there were many people telling me, is that else? Do you have anything else? I think that's your top. You can go further. And I'm also very close to close the whole thing. And yeah, don't I'm ready. And when they told me if there are anything else after doing all those things, I was like, did the Bulls stop at 5 championship? No. So we got into event management. We tried to put to be high at a higher level and do even more things. And what that gave us, they started coming our international awards. We got this last year at the Global Hospitality Awards. At the same year, I got awarded in Dubai from the International Forum of Advanced Technology Healthcare in Advancements in Healthcare as a top 100 awards leaders in the world. And when the lockdown started, we got this award as the Street Entertainment Management Company of the Year. As like the Bulls, that they got 6 championship and they made in history. That's not the end for me, and neither of any of you, because you have more things to do and you have to try and go there. Remember, always be positive. Having that positive energy, you can achieve everything. It is in your mind. Have that mentality. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it as I did.
Thank you, George. It is a very interesting that you motivate our audience, and it was really impressive. A question for you. You can see it in the publish from Muhammad Ahmed.
I can hear you very well, to be honest.
There is a question from Muhammad Ahmed in the question. Please, you can see it.
The questions, okay. Where are the rest of the questions? Because
it is by Muhammad Ahmed.
I'm seeing the live questions and what are not.
Okay. I send.
Oh, I see one. There's a question. I have a question for Mr. George. I love and learning a lot of his talk. Apologies for the long text. It's a bit long. But if we team up among, let's say, 5 of them, 2 of them do not work, but show that they are working. They don't show any progress except word of mouth after 2 weeks. You know, I know what you mean. This is a bad practice. When you don't have all the members working, you have something that, for example, in Michael Jordan's side, he was pushing them. You know, if they don't work, you have to put them out of the team because it's not good for the team and for you that you put all that effort. But either way, if you have the communication skills, you know, you will find a way to communicate on the management level in order to know. I don't mean to, you know, if you know your work, you know how to promote what you did and what the rest of the team did. In my case, I will say it. In my case, I had many cases that people were not given 100% and were expecting for us to do the rest of the work. And I was either I was trying to put them in the team that were the same, either we were in conflict and they were out of the team. Okay, we can't work if you have people don't putting at least some amount of effort.
Yeah, it's done.
Let me check if there are anything else.
No, it is.
Oh yeah, that's that. So try
Yeah.
to do that, and if things go the other way around, that if you're working very good and very efficient, and you get kicked out of the team, this will be shown because it will be one member less for those that used to work, and this will also come to the final outcome of whatever you do.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, George, for your time and
Thank you as well.
for all the information.
It was
Thank you
nice
so much.
talking to you. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. I'm audible. Okay. Now it's all for today, and there now the competitions are going to be start by the schedule that we have provided on the event page. So just follow that. Competition is started, and best of luck to all the participants as well. And the schedule is on our page. You can see it, and from here as well. So follow the schedule. All the tests are there on the test portal that we have sent you the emails. So just check your emails, spam folders, inbox, all the folders. If you have not in the inbox, just check it out down. We have sent emails to all the participants that have we have registered. So check it down, and if you will face any issue, just send us a query. Or for other things, that the competitions are will start on the exact sharp schedule that we have posted on the event page. And this is schedule that we have shared here. It will be followed strictly, so please be on time, and best of luck to all the participants. Thank you, everyone. This is all for today, and then join us by tomorrow with another international speakers that we will have. Okay, good luck. Thank you.